right, so the usual setup, folks, the chair and a couple of blocks. And oops, let me take my slippers off. And I have my blanket on my chair, and you might want your blanket under your feet. Let's tip that down a little bit. And then I have blocks, one block on either side, which you may or may not have or want to use. And then something that your feet will slide on. If you're on carpet, these are furniture sliders, or paper plates work well. Or if you're on a hard surface, then the blanket or a towel or something under your feet. All right, let's start sitting tall, sitting comfortable. You can close the eyes or not. Just take a moment to tune into your breath. So normally, as soon as we focus on the breath, it deepens. So just allow that to happen, but not too deep. So just a nice, comfortable pace for your breath. And we're going to practice breathing in some different locations. So let's first just divide the torso in half, with the rib cage being one half and the belly being the other half. And let your breath move. Let's start with moving the belly. So you can place your hands on your belly, or one hand on the belly and one hand on the ribs. And what we want is the belly hand to do the most movement when you breathe, not the rib hand. And this we generally call belly breathing, even though we know there's no lung tissue in your belly. Belly breathing is the breath of choice to calm down and relax at a moment's notice. Try to get your breath into the belly to relax. It does soften the abdominal muscles, which we don't always want when we're doing movement. You need some tone in your belly to help protect the lower back in quite a few movements. So it's not really the breath of choice during asana, that is during the yoga movements, but I like to start with it and end with it sometimes. All right, we're going to change to do rib breathing only, or chest breathing only. So now keep the belly toned. You can pull the belly muscles in a little bit to prevent the belly from moving. And you really want to open the chest muscles, relax the chest muscles, front, back, sides, and get breath into the rib cage. So don't hold the chest tight. Let the chest, ribs naturally are supposed to expand with each breath. So just allow that to happen. Those are sort of the two most basic breath patterns. Usually we have a breath pattern that involves a little of both of these, but leans more toward one than the other. That is, we use both the chest and the belly when we breathe, but sometimes it's a little bit more in the belly or a little bit more in the chest. So we're going to play with the next two breath patterns that do utilize both. Let's do belly breathing first, and then continue to fill on the inhale so that your rib hand moves. So you're kind of filling from the bottom toward the top, like you fill like a glass of water. Let the belly hand move first, and then the rib hand. Just let the exhale happen. So that's moving both, and you want it to be fluid movement from one area to the next, not belly and then ribs, not jerky movement, two separate movements, but nice and fluid. And then the last basic breath pattern is the exact opposite. Let the rib hand move first, and then the belly. And this is actually how the breath comes in through the trachea from the top down. So this kind of mimics the physiology of the respiration. Interestingly, even though this one mimics the physiology of how we breathe, this one tends to be the most difficult breath pattern for most people. So not all people. So, those are 4 basic breath patterns we just went. Usually one of those is the easiest and one is the most difficult, and the other 2 are somewhere in between. And it's really important that we practice these breath patterns, especially the ones that aren't so easy for us, to begin to open up all the muscles that help us breathe, especially in cold and flu season, just to get the diaphragm stretched differently. All the respiratory helping muscles also get them stretched and open. So I have someone in the hospital right now with COVID, and I was talking to her on the phone about breathing in different ways. And so this is so important, just to breathe in different ways. This person doesn't do yoga with me, so I was teaching them from the beginning, all these breath patterns and stuff. All right, let's bring movement with the breath. So I scooted forward on the chair so that I can, round my spine and have a little more mobility. But we're going to start with the hand movements. Hands down on the exhale, and then just flipping the palms up on the inhale. Exhale the palms back down. I'm just kind of rolling along the pinky side of my hand. So some part of my hand is on my lap the whole time. You can pick whatever breath pattern of those 4 basic breath patterns that you like for this. And if possible and comfortable, pick one that you need work on, not the one that's the easiest for you. I generally say, if you're having a rough day and you need to take it easy, then pick the breath pattern that's the easiest for you. But if you're working toward bringing balance, and that is working, going to do a little work on yourself, then pick one of those patterns that's not so easy. Let's make the movement a little bit larger, and you're in charge of how large of a movement you want to do. I'm gonna just do some different movements, taking some different range of motion for my arms and shoulders. So everyone might have, an issue here or there, a shoulder issue or something. I'm going to do a little spinal movement as well. So when my arms go up, I'm in a little bit of a back bend. And when my arms come down, I'm in a little bit of a rounded spine or relaxed. Not big, huge spinal movement, just nice and gentle. All right, and then just let your arms relax. So we're going to play with that pelvic movement that some of you might have heard me talking about at the beginning of class. I'm just going to turn sideways, since I think it'll be easier to see from the side. And so this rounded spine and a little back bend movement, we're going to do that movement, but initiate it from the movement of the pelvis. So you can feel your 2 sit bones on the chair. Also, the tailbone and pubic bone, tailbone on the back side of the pelvis and the pubic bone on the front side. So those 4 bones, imagine each of those 4 bones has a string attached to it, and those 4 strings are being pulled beyond the floor. I'm up on the 2nd floor, so beyond the 1st floor below me and into the earth. So however many floors you can go through, get into the earth. And feel like someone's down in the earth and they see these 4 strings drop down and they're pulling them all together, but they're going to run forward and back, forward and back. And when they run forward, it rounds the spine, tucks the tail. And then when they run back, it takes the pelvis in the opposite direction, tilting the pelvis. And just like domino effect of the vertebrae, let that happen through the spine. So the pelvis moves first, and then the rest of the spine. It doesn't have to be, I'm exaggerating it here, but you let your spine go a little more closely to the same time. If you just let the pelvis move only and then wait too long, it can be a little hard on the lower back. So you want it to be a domino effect and really rolling through the spine into the back bend and rounding the spine. So back and forth, those two movements, and then rest your hands back on your lap, your pelvis in neutral. All right, we're going to take one arm only and reach one arm up. It can come up in front or out to the sides. I'm going to do a couple of each. Exhale that arm down, other arm up. Sometimes we get a little larger movement when we do just one arm at a time. You can take it out to the side and up, or in front, or any range of motion that's comfortable for you. It doesn't have to go all the way up, only the range of motion that's comfortable for you. One more time each side. That one I took up from the side and down in front. Take it up in front and down on the side. All right, we're going to combine opposite leg or arm and leg, opposite limbs moving. So pick a side and take the opposite leg out. The arm goes up. That's your inhale. And then the arm comes down, the leg comes back in on the exhale. Other side, switching it over. Inhale, arm and leg extend. Exhale, bring it back in. Any arm range of motion that's comfortable for you. When we do these opposite limbs, it actually helps the brain. Call these kind of brain games. All right, we're gonna, so these have been kind of going in front, go out to the side. The arm can also go out to the side or in front, your choice. Leg a little bit out, arm out, both extending out on the inhale, both coming back in on the exhale. I'm just switching sides. My students used to call this the Saturday Night Live movement. So if you remember that move, you can point your finger and sing along if you like, except for going in slow motion. All right, if you recall which side you started on, you're going to end on the opposite. So I think I have to do this side. And if you don't remember, don't worry. All right, let's come down to the legs. So scoot forward toward the edge of your chair, and one leg is going to go in spokes out to the side, warming up the hip a little bit. And you could turn your foot in different angles as the foot goes out. Any angles you like. And then pick one of those spokes, kind of halfway, and point and flex. Just hold the leg out there as you point and flex a few times, and circle the ankle around in both directions. And then bring that leg back in and work your way back up to the top. All right, and then we're going to lean forward, pick up underneath the thigh, see if the heel will come up, maybe the toes will come up, and just let the leg kind of dangle and circle the foot around like you're stirring a pot with your foot in both directions. And then put that foot back down, and we'll go over to the other side. You can use your hands leaning back on the chair, and we'll take those spokes out on the other side. Exhale when the knee bends in, inhale when it goes. Again, feel free to turn your foot in different directions. Some of the time the toe is heading out first, some of the time the heel going out. And then pick one of those spokes about halfway, hold right there and point and flex. And some circles, both directions. And then working your way back up to the top. And then once at the top, lean forward and grab underneath there, a little arm strengthener. Don't round the shoulders. Keep your shoulder blades pulled together as you lean back, lifting that foot, and let the foot just kind of dangle, circles, both directions, and release back down. That's a little arm strength work, and that's good for the knees. All right, let's relax a bit. We're going to come back to the spine and do our 6 directions. So we've already done some cat-cows. Let's do just another time or 2 cat-cow. And we did it before initiating the movement from the pelvis. You can continue that if you like, or let's do this time from the opposite end, from the crown of the head. So let your head drop down. So the crown of your head more faces toward the screen, and then that domino effect through the spine into the rounded position. And then let the top of the head lift up, lengthen through the spine, get a long spine before you let the head tip back a little bit. And don't tip the head back if that feels uncomfortable for your neck, in which case you can feel like you're just lifting from the bottom of the neck, the base of the neck lifts up. That's where the strings would be here. The strings are coming out the top of the head, but if that bothers you to take the head back, then you just lift from the base of the neck where the neck meets the shoulders. And that's where your strings will be, pointing actually sort of forward toward the wall in front, and then up, and they start the back bend from the top of the shoulders there. All right, and that next we'll do a twist. Let's take the feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart and scoot forward toward the edge of the chair. We're going to do a twist with the one hand to the opposite knee. Exhale the arms down. Inhale, raise the arms about shoulder height, or you can cactus pose the arms. And exhale, opposite hand to the knee, the other hand back behind anywhere. Come right back to center, inhaling. Second side, exhaling. And we'll go back to the first side, and we're going to come into that first side and hold, not the breath, hold the pose. Keep breathing. You come into it on an exhale. You'll inhale and exhale here, and then on the following inhale, come back to neutral. Other side. Keep breathing. Wait for your inhale to come back to neutral. And repeat. Anytime we're holding a pose and it doesn't feel comfortable, we probably already went in and out of it dynamically, so just repeat that. Otherwise, if comfortable to stay, stay. And if at any time you get a catch or a stitch or something in there talking to you, just ease out and back in. Wait for an inhale to come back to center, and then right over second side. And back to center. And just arms down in front. We'll take a little cat-cow here. Those cat-cows help to recenter things after twists and laterals. Lateral is what we'll do next, starting with the hands on the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, just leaning over toward one side. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, leaning over toward the other side. And right back up. And now we're going to come into it with a stay. And so this down hand, you can place it on some part of the chair or come down to a block if that's handy for you. This back arm, your outside arm, can reach up toward the ceiling or over, arm over by the ear, and then unwind back out. And come right back up. And we'll go into a stay on the other side. Finding some place for that down arm and up arm. Keep breathing. On an inhale, come right back up. All right, one more time for a couple of breaths. Exhale over. Inhaling, add the arm. Wait for an inhale to bring it back up. And right over second side. Exhale over. Keep your sit bones down. And that arm, that top arm can help deepen the stretch for you, or back it off if it's already deep enough. And right back up. And a cat-cow here. All right, we're going to do this next cat-cow movement, initiating it from the shoulder blades. So when you go into the rounded or the cat position, wing your shoulder blades out away from each other and pull the sternum back. You can drop the head so the spine's going to domino effect in both directions. And then begin to squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulder blades in toward each other. And again, the domino effect goes up the spine and down the spine. So we're making the movement, initiating from the center. Inhale into the back bend. Exhale into a rounded spine. All right. And so I think when we have just a simple movement like cat-cow, but we change where the brain fires off to the neurons to create that movement from, generally we have some habit of how we move into cat-cow that we've learned over the years. And I'm asking you to change it, make the movement, initiate the movement from, at first we did from the root chakra, then we did the crown chakra, or if that, and of course, if any of the movements bother us, we change it up. But a lot of folks have neck issues, so we gave the option to drop it down to the fifth chakra. And then that last one we just did from the fourth chakra. We're going to do the same movement, that cat-cow movement, but now we're going to initiate it from the second chakra, which involves the hip points. So the front of your pelvis, there's two bony protrusions there. If you dig in enough, you can feel the front part of your pelvis. I've got my hands on mine. I'm just going to come close. So right here. And you're going to imagine those pulling in toward each other, like the belly pulls in. And that's going to be our rounded position. And then let the top of the sacrum on the back body, so the sacrum is above the tailbone. So right where my index fingers come together, that's where my tailbone is. And the thumbs on the top of my, are the top of my sacrum. So that it's a triangular bone there. So imagine the top of the sacrum pushes forward to initiate the back bend movement of the cat-cow. All right, so once again, hip points toward each other, rounding the spine, and bring the top of the sacrum forward and a little bit up toward the heart for your back bend. Exhale, pull those hip points toward each other. Inhale into the back bend. All right, and just coming to neutral. All right, we're going to come down to the legs. We'll play with moving into those other chakras later. Come down to the legs with just one foot on the whatever you're sliding on, and angle your body off to the side, either all the way off to the side of the chair or at the corner of the chair. I'm going to start with the corner of the chair and just warming up this hip a little bit more. This is the leg that's closest to the screen, is on the slider. On the inhale, the leg goes out. On the exhale, back in, and see if you can get that leg more toward the back side so we can get into the inner thigh stretching. If you take the heel out first, you'll come into the legs, side of the leg and the hip flexors in front. So warming up your hip a little bit more. See what those hip rotators will do for you. All right, and then pick one of those positions where you might get a stretch, but not too deep. One that you can hold and just stay for a breath. Inhale and exhale. On the next exhale, bend the knee and slide the foot back in. You're gonna angle yourself off to the side. We're gonna take a cat cow from here, initiating that cat cow from any chakra you like. All right, and then let's go off, do the same thing off on the other corner of the chair. The foot that's closest to the screen has the ability to slide with whatever accoutrement you have. And again, turning the foot different angles, none of which should bother the knee. So always staying within your own comfort zone and your capacity. And then pick one of those positions, one of those spokes to hold. Stay on and hold. Just take a breath here. And on the exhale, bend that knee back in, facing off the side of the chair or the corner of the chair, take a cat-cow. Or two. All right, then let's go back over to the first side. And if comfortable, go a little further. Maybe you can go all the way down to the side of the chair. And I'm sitting forward on the edge of the chair. Your chair needs to be stable. And take that leg that's closest to the screen again in some range of motions, working even further back if comfortable. Tucked under for that one. Some people like their toes, top of the toes on the floor, curled that way. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes with a blanket, it's easier. All right, and again, pick a position that you can hold and stay. And you're going to exhale and turn toward the other knee. Inhale, like you can go forward over that leg and back up. So 2 breath stay, and then on the exhale, bend the back leg. All the way over to the side so the legs mat and a cat-cow. All right, and then we'll work our way over to the other side, either again off to the corner, or if you want, you can go all the way to the side of the chair, which is what I'm doing this time. It doesn't matter. And then that leg that's closest to the screen is going to find some range of motions as far back behind as comfortable for you and within your current capacity. Toes doing whatever you like. Get an added toe stretch there if you like to turn those toes one way or the other. All right, and then pick a position to hold. And on the exhale, turn toward the bent knee. And on the next exhale, if you like, you can add a forward fold. That should not bother your body. And then bend the back knee on the exhale. Legs match together. And a cat-cow. All right, and then come to face forward. And legs wide apart. And we're going to take a twist here, which you can bring your block to the middle if you have a block. Otherwise, we're just going to go to opposite knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to the opposite knee, and to go further forward into a forward bend with the twist, you can come down onto the elbow or down to your block, which you can move to either side of the leg that you like. So it's a little deeper if you're on the outside of the leg, less deep if that block's to the inside. And then come on back up. We're going to go the other side, opposite hand to the knee, elbow to the knee, or further down the leg, either side, whichever works for you. Keep breathing. All right, and back up. Repeating. Exhale, over you go. As far down for you. The other hand, you can slide it back by your hip. I'm going to just show this sideways. Other hand can be at the hip, or you can reach that arm back. Could be reaching back for the chair or up toward the ceiling. Any position you like, and then make your way back up. And we'll go over to the other side. Exhale, elbow to thigh, or hand to the block. Other hand sliding back to the hip or to the sacrum and back. That's that triangular shaped bone. Or you can reach for the chair back or up toward the ceiling. Any of those options, or make up one of your own, and then work your way back up. More time. Exhaling over. Inhale, deepen the twist. You can roll that shoulder toward the ceiling and add the arm if comfortable, and the arm can go anywhere you like. And then unwind. Second side, exhaling over. Shoulder toward the ceiling. Add the arm anywhere comfortable for you. And then unwind yourself all the way back up. Keep the legs wide for a moment. We'll take a cat-cow with the legs wide. Get those shoulder blades involved, even whatever chakra you're initiating the movement. Add those shoulder blades kind of on top of the spinal movement, like icing on the cake. And that will help get that thoracic spine a little more mobile. All right. Twist with a forward bend. Let's bring the feet in, walk them in, heel toe, scoot forward toward the edge of the chair. You're going to lift the heel up of one foot, so I'm just on the toes or on the ball of the foot there. And on the inhale, rock the knee out to the side, exhale back in, same side, same leg, inhaling out, exhaling in. Now sometimes the chair, like this chair, has a little bit of a dip in the middle and it goes up on the sides. And so I feel like that prevents me from taking my knee out as far as I possibly could. So I'm going to go on the corner and do the same thing. Actually, I'll switch legs so you can see better. And rock the knee out and in. Inhale when the knee goes out, exhale back in. And I can do the other side from here as well. Out and in, out and in. So do both sides about the same amount of time. So if you haven't already switched sides, go ahead and switch sides. And some of you may wish to do both at the same time. So I'm on my balls of my feet and both knees are going to rock out and in. Out on the inhale is butterfly pose. So you can imagine the butterfly wings flapping. One more. All right. And then come back to neutral. All right. Let's go face the corner or the side with your foot that's closest to the screen on a slider. We're going to go through some standing poses. Well, in the chair. Standing poses in the chair. So set the back leg, comfortable angle or position one of those spokes toward the back. Turn to face the bent knee. Exhale here. On the inhale, raise the arms, warrior one. You're looking toward the bent knee. Turn toward the screen, drop the arms shoulder height for warrior 2. Keep breathing. And then drop the back arm to the back thigh and arch the front arm up, arc back. And come back to warrior 2. Keep breathing. And then we'll lower the elbow to the thigh. The other hand can come to the hip or reach up or over, anything you like with that top arm. And then put that top arm in reverse, bring it back to shoulder height as you come up. Raise the front arm back to warrior 2. A breath or more here. And then turn toward the bent knee, arms going up for warrior 1. You can cactus pose the arms. And then take the opposite hand to the front knee and the other hand to the chair or the hip in a twist. And then back to warrior 1, arms up. Lower the arms down on the exhale and bend the back knee. And bring the legs together over on the side for a cat-cow over here. Again, initiating that cat-cow from any chakra you like. All right, and then let's work our way over to the other side, either the corner or all the way to the side, which is what I'll do. I think it makes it easier for you to see what's going on. And then pick an angle for that back leg, any angle that's comfortable for you. This will be the back leg. And the front leg is bent. We'll turn to face the front knee. Exhale and inhale, arms up for warrior 1. You can be cactus pose or arms as straight as you like. Turn toward the screen, lower the arms shoulder height for warrior 2. Keep breathing. And then exalted warrior, back arm drops, front arm goes up, arch back. And then come right back to warrior 2. Keep breathing. And we'll come into flank stretch, elbow to thigh. Decide what you'd like to do with that top arm. And then we'll go back to arms in 2 directions. Facing forward for warrior 1. Arms up in 1 direction. And then we're going to come into the twist toward the back, opposite hand to the front knee. Right back to warrior 1. And close it up. Arms down, the back knee bends. Bring that back foot or both legs together. And a cat-cow. All right, and then come to face forward. And we'll take a little sun salute from here. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, you can bring elbows to thighs, folding forward or go further forward. We'll take a lunge. Bring one leg with you in the lunge and you can stretch that foot forward. And then we'll take downward dog in a chair. Use both legs forward and both arms up or hands to the chair. So arms don't go up if your chair is unstable. You keep your hands on the chair. And then a little back bend here. You can bend the knees or keep the legs straight. Take a little back bend. Head can go up only if comfortable for you and your neck. And then we'll reverse through those, downward dog again. So hands don't go up. If your chair is unstable, you can push into your hands to get a little arm strength. That is part of downward dog. And then we'll take the lunge on the other side. Bring one leg up. And then fold forward, elbows to thighs. or you can fold further forward if comfortable. All the way up, arms up, arms going up as high as you like, and then the arms down. And we'll repeat that. Inhaling up, exhale, fold forward, lunge, downward dog, a back bend, downward dog again, and do the arm strength one here, lunging, fold forward, all the way up, and arms back down. And salute in a chair. Let's take some either cat-cows, or you can do both legs and both arms stretching. So you know cat-cow, so initiating the cat-cow from whichever chakra you like, or you can do this one, and you can do it the way we did it in the beginning with opposite arm and leg, or what I'm gonna do now is both arms and legs simultaneously, extending on the inhale, bending them on the exhale. And of course, I'm on the edge of my chair, but if your chair is unstable, then you'll just be doing one arm and one leg like we did in the beginning, like this. Otherwise, if available, I have a nice steady chair, so even though I'm right on the edge, you'd think that would tip it over, but so far so good. Stepped on the ice, but not out of my chair. All right, and it's a nice counter pose for all the work we did on the arms and legs, just to bend and straighten them helps them. And then the work that we did with the spine, the cat-cow type movement for that is a counter pose. So we'll take that now. Let's see, which chakra haven't we done yet? We haven't done the third. We sort of did the fifth, but let's do the third chakra. So when you exhale, there's this sort of like, when you zip up a jacket, you have to kind of hold the bottom of the jacket down. The bottom of the jacket in this case is the pubic bone. So that's going to stay pulled down, but you're going to zip up from where we brought those hip points toward each other. You're going to zip up there and all the way so the ribs feel like they come together. So the whole abdomen goes in when you zip up. So you're zipping up those abdominal muscles together into the rounded spine. That's your exhale. And then inhale into the back and side ribs as you start to come into the back bend. Zip up for the forward bend. Breathe into the rib cage, the lower rib cage. Expanding the ribs out on the inhale. Zip them up like you're kind of knitting this together. Expand it out on the inhale. All right, that's most of the chakras anyway. Maybe we'll hit the other ones on another day. All right, let's take palming in combination with the cat-cow. So when you exhale, bring your palms to cup over your eyes. Your back is in the rounded position. And slide your hands off the eyes a little bit as you come into the back bendy position, but not emphasizing the back bend at all. And really not a deep forward bend. So make the spinal movement less and less. And if comfortable and you want to stay with the eyes being palmed, feel free. I love it. Some people don't really like this feeling, but I love it. I love to block out all the light. When you can block out all the light, your eye muscles really relax. And then you can let that spread to the rest of your body. Let your shoulders relax and your hands start to slide down off the eyes. And just let the hands drop into your lap. We're going to do that movement with the palm up and down that we started with. Exhale the palms down. Inhale the palms up. Just a couple more of those. And we're going to end with the palms up. And join the thumb to the tip of the index finger, tip of the thumb, tip of the index finger. And just pause there and hold. Make the touch very light. Lighten the touch between the thumb and finger until you can barely tell if you're still touching. And then just when you think you've let it go to the next finger, thumb touching the next finger, your middle finger. You can make it kind of hard at first, but then lighten it very, it's the softest, most gentle touch. You can barely tell. And then when you think, oh, I think I can slip a piece of paper between there now, they've come undone. Go ahead to the next finger, your ring finger, and touch. Keep breathing. Lighten the touch. And then when you think you've let it go to the pinky, touch, and then very lightly, lightly, lightly. And we're going to repeat that one more time. Thumb to the tip of the thumb to the tip of the index finger. Touch lightly and then just slide the thumb down the finger. So light. And then go to the next finger, middle finger. Very light touch and slide. And then go to the next finger, light, light touch. Keep it light and slide. For some reason, that finger is the hardest one for me. And then to the next finger, the pinky. Lighten the touch and slide. It's doable, that ring finger for me, but have a little bit of a jerkiness to it. And that finger actually represents the earth element in yoga, so perhaps I'm not as grounded as I think I am. All right, and then feel your feet on the floor. You can turn the palms down, or if you liked that, you can continue touching. We'll take just a moment to relax. Come back to those 4 breath patterns that we did in the beginning. We're going to reverse back out of them. So the last one that we did was chest to belly. So inhale, chest and belly in that order. A couple of those. And then belly to chest. Belly moves first, then the chest in that order. Exhale just happens any old way. And then chest only. Keep the belly quiet. And then belly only, keeping the chest quiet. And I thank you for joining me again. Namaste.